All right. Hey, everybody. Coming at you live here from San Antonio. You got Chuck with Keepin It Rio. Got an awesome guest on today's program. I'm extremely excited to talk with Tim Brown from the Hook Agency. So let me hit our intro real quick and we'll be back with a amazing conversation. Stay tuned. All right, we are back, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I've got an awesome guest here with me, Tim. Tim, how's it going, bud? How you doing?
Good. Doing very well. Thanks for having me, Chuck. Appreciate it.
Yes, it is my pleasure. I've been looking forward to this for a while. I think you're going to have a pretty interesting topic to discuss, and you definitely are doing something really unique right now. So I think this is going to be fun.
Thank you.
Where are you coming at us from today?
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Minneapolis. I love it. I think Ben Menchaca is from that area, and he refers to it as Money Making Minnesota. So
Money Making Minnesota. I should start doing that too to push that up. I like that.
Yep, absolutely. Gotta give the shout out there. So anyway, Tim, you have a pretty cool little niche that you're doing here in our market, and I think you are definitely dominating what you're currently into doing. And I want to talk about that a little bit, but can you give us a little bit of a history about yourself and how you got into the marketing/roofing marketing industry?
Yeah. So I was one of those guys that partied a lot after high school and took a long way getting through college, and then I ended up getting sober. I cut to that chase, but I finished college for web design, so web design and development. And when I did that, I kind of went and worked for another agency. And I guess the problem there was we did everything for everybody. There's agencies out here doing like, shit, man, they're doing finance. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
Okay. They're doing truck wraps, logos, websites, 55,000 things and my agency was no different. I did end up kind of going up the ranks there. I got to be the marketing manager. And then I went out on my own, and that was a whole big leap. Obviously, business ownership is no small thing, but basically just the first or three of the first like 7 clients I had were contractors. So it was actually, a driveway company, or driveways and parking lots, asphalt, a roofer, and a remodeler. And so the story of those 3 was I just really liked working with them. They're above average clients for me to work with. I worked with corporations. I got to sell like the Mall of America. Like I've worked with a bunch of people, but I liked working with these people. And I believe that you should do something that's not only lucrative for you, but you also enjoy. I'm one of those guys that really believes in that. And I say I'm greedy to my team. I say I'm greedy. I say I want to like it. I want to make money. I want to make people money and have a good time. I want there to be significance, and like I want to grow. Like I want a lot. You know what I mean? Like I really believe that that's possible in work. And so cut to today, we have 3 services, and 3 services only: search engine optimization, paid ad management, and website design. Sorry, did I say website design first? Yeah, paid ad management, SEO, website design. And we only do it for contractors, and about 75% of our clients are roofers. So we've kind of really dove into the niche. And that's scary. But we were only able to do that because we had a really good lead flow for ourselves. Because most people don't do that. They don't niche and they don't get specialized because they don't have a ton of leads. And I'm like one of those guys that like, I got the 10X roll behind me. I love doing like large amounts of things because I believe you usually need more effort than you think you need. And so in doing that, we've created a lot of leads for ourselves. Like I had 200 this last quarter, which is really high for a marketing agency of our size, 18 people. And so we just started to narrow in, and with the leads, we're able to do that. So that's like a really quick version of it.
That's awesome. And, like you say, if you don't love what you're doing, go find something else to do, right? I've always been the same way. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the energy that you're bringing, because you can just tell that you like what you're doing, and that's genuine stuff. So this is going to be a fun one. What I've been seeing quite a bit of here lately, and I follow a lot of the roofing groups. I've been in this for quite some time, and I'm in just about all of them. I don't participate in too many, but I kind of, see what's going on. And it's there's like all kinds of funny, like roofing related memes going on. My personal favorite is the Vince McMahon one, where he's afraid of the, the other podcaster, scared of keeping it real. I appreciate that. But what, I mean, I don't know. You said something funny, about college and having fun and all that. So what prompted you to get into that and to say, hey, this is something that I can do, where I can like completely excel at this, and other people are going to start copying and trying to do what I'm doing, and you're going to have people competing for the top meme guy in the industry? Like, how is this all devised? Where did this all come from?
So it kind of slipped into it here, but I just had a couple ideas for memes, and like my first couple did really well. Like I saw some out on the internet that inspired me. I was like, this like applies totally to the roofing industry. These guys will love this. So I made one specific, and I just know like now, like our best customers, like a lot of them are roofers. So just like started making, like I made the first couple and they just blew up, like basically 200-300 likes, and like some of them like 50 shares and stuff like that. And it was kind of crazy. And so I think I just got addicted to the dopamine, if I'm real with you. Like, you get the likes on Facebook and you're like, that's nice. But plus, literally like yesterday and the day before that, we got a lead that mentioned memes. Two leads in 2 days, like that mentioned memes. And I know that there's other ones, but those are two people that like just mentioned it. So I think like I'm going to talk about some of the funny shit, but I also will like just the principles. The principles are, I have empathy for our best customers that are roofers. I have empathy, and I make memes basically for them and for other roofers like them that are like talking about basically their enemy. So Joseph Hughes calls that the common enemy approach. And I just use humor plus the common enemy approach. I do see people copying us, and I want to give them a little tip here too, which is like, you need to make yours about homeowners and empathy for the homeowner and the enemies that the homeowner has, or the property manager, but like making more memes that like help them understand that you feel their pain. And I think like that's why some of the ones that are doing well are like, it really feels like I feel their pain. Like, do I care about insurance providers? I mean, like, do I really care? I don't care that much, but I know that roofers hate, like, they hate like crooked adjusters, like, so I can go after these common approaches. Like, and I think, it's kind of, those are some of the principles that I use to make the memes. And then I just look through the formats and I like find good ones. Like I look at a lot of memes on Instagram, and but it's been cool. It's been really cool, man. Like we've gotten an inordinate amount of attention in a small amount of time. The 10X part of the strategy is literally like I was creating for a little while there. I put out like 10 a day. I know that sometimes to really get over the threshold of people's attention, you have to do something kind of a ridiculous amount. You know what I mean? Like if you do it,
No, I was going to say you're spot on. And the 10X rule is the perfect example of that, because when I went to the 10X conference, Grant Cardone mentions when you're there, you got hit with 5,000 emails over the last year. Every single morning you wake up and you see me. Every afternoon you see me. And you start thinking about it. And it's like, you know what? You're right. And that's exactly why I'm sitting in this arena here in Miami with 30,000 people. We all saw the same thing over and over again. So that's a great point. And I guess I didn't realize that that's how I was becoming conditioned to recognize these things. But now I understand, and that's pretty smart.
Yeah. it's kind of funny. So we usually put the logo on there, and there's an app called Mematic that you can just put your logo in there, and it will impose it, and it brings up a lot of the popular memes that you can use. And I think this is we got Gary Vee on one side, we got Grant Cardone on one side, Gary Vee on the other side. Gary Vee always talks about how people don't see most of your posts. You know what I mean? So like you think you're posting a lot, but most people don't see them all. So you really like for every 7, if you have an ideal customer out there that's looking at your social media and you put out 7 things, maybe they see 1, like if they're following you even and I use my personal page because Facebook really, really pushes down company pages unless you pay. So I use my personal page. I post 7 things. I assume you're seeing 1 of them, Chuck. So I'm like, I want you to see at least 1. So I'm going to post 7 times that day. And a lot of people talk about the quality versus quantity thing. And my personal opinion on this is that quantity leads to quality. Absolutely. If you get the reps in, you will get better.
Yeah, that's indisputable. That's the way of the world. Everything works that way. And I respect that a lot. It's kind of cool that that's the way that you're thinking, because a lot of people just see the memes and they're just like, hey, this guy must be bored or something. But you're putting a lot of thought into it.
I am a little bored, to be honest,
right? Yeah. Well, hey, you're entertaining the masses.
I am a little bored. Yeah. To be honest, what I really do is like, I'm like, my wife is watching something at night on TV and I just sit there and like make them while she's watching something and while we're sitting there. So I don't really I don't make an extra time for it. It's just like when I would be, I'm the kind of guy that really wishes I could work like all the time, to be honest with you. I like you said, I like what I do. I think when you like what you do, like, part of the reason that that's probably actually attractive to people, and part of the reason that this podcast is attractive to your like actual like roofing customers, probably if they see it, is because when you do, it's peacocking, really. If you think about like, pickup game, like in men attracting women, like I've got this coat on, I've been thinking about it, like it's got the big hook on the back. Like this is kind of an example of peacocking, but it's for my company. So I'm not trying to attract women because I already got a beautiful wife, but like the meme thing is kind of peacocking for our company. Like if he has time to both, like we have a good reputation with a lot of roofers and contractors, and they also have the time to do this extra thing. And you doing this podcast is kind of peacocking and attractive to people because it's like they not only have good reviews on Google, they also have time for this podcast, which means they probably have systems for implementing a lot of the great things that like people are talking about in these reviews.
Absolutely. And I hope that that's what happens. Although some of the episodes probably, take a little bit away or detract from my ability with some potential.
Hey, but you got to be able to help out. Dude, I know the same thing with the memes too, like I know that some of them people are like, oh, they messed with that insurance company.
Yeah, anything that's sacred right now, which, depending on what day of the week it is, we've got something new that we're not supposed to be messing with or talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
I understand.
That's exactly
it. We can offend anybody because, anything is offensive if you want it to be. But I think that's kind of cool. Exactly. And certain ones, they joke a little bit better than others, and some have no sense of humor at all. I don't dare mention any names because I see what happens when people mention names. But I'll tell you this. I was scrolling. Yeah, right. There's no need to elaborate, but I was going through some of the stuff a little bit earlier today, and you had one on there that really, it made me laugh. And I thought to myself, okay, I need to ask about this. And you kind of just touched on it, but the guy's up on the roof with a vacuum cleaner and he's sweeping all the missing granules off, and he's an Allstate guy. So he's getting ready to deny it and say there's nothing wrong with it. Do you get any kind of blowback from people on stuff like that? Or is it just all in good nature? Someone somewhere has to take offense to that, right?
I did get blowback on that one, but not for the reason you'd think. I got blowback because I spelled granules wrong. I saw one of the groups
intentional.
Yeah, I actually was not. I literally don't know how to spell granules because I'm not actually a roofer. But yeah, Matt Danskin put a poll like about the about the spelling of that. It like got a bunch of people voting on. I'm like, oh Matt, come on, you know I'm not a real roofer out here, dude. I'm just providing a service. I'm providing a meme service out here.
Well, that's the truth. And I'll tell you what, I thought that was a strategy. I remember several years ago, I was at a conference and we were listening to a guy, and I don't even remember who it was, but he had put up a billboard somewhere and he misspelled one of the key words. And he said that misspelling got him probably 5 times more calls than he would have gotten otherwise. So when I see things like that, I have to assume it's intentional. So that was your out right there. You could have easily just said, no, I meant to do that. And everybody would have thought you were a genius.
I like them. Damn, I wish I would have come up with that. Oh man, dude, I also do see though, like inviting somebody to disagree with you does work very well in the algorithm. Like if you say something that's a little bit more forward than you normally would say it, but it invites disagreement, that's really good for the algorithm. I don't know if that's good for our society.
Well,
but
no,
I will
the two
say,
things definitely don't go hand in hand.
It's definitely an interesting thing. I mean, I think even before all this algorithm stuff, I think there was something about saying something controversial that would get you more publicity. You know, like you probably print it in the newspaper and say something a little crazy and people would like probably write in more notes. So I don't know. Like, I think you shouldn't shy away from that completely. Like, once again, I'll keep going to Cardone here, but he always talks about like, you got to have haters.
Absolutely. If you don't, you're not doing enough. And I believe that 100%. And the other thing he says is, you know, you only have to have 50.1% of the people agree with you and like you, and you'll be just fine. And, you know, I try to stay kind of neutral. I have a business that I'm trying to run. So you have to kind of stay right down the middle with everything. But, you know, every once in a blue moon, we'll slip out something that's maybe a little bit edgy or sketchy. And, you know, I've had some blowback and I feel good about that. I like when the roofers get on and say, must be nice. You know, I'm too busy out putting up roofs. I don't have time to do a stupid podcast. And it's like, well, sucks to be you, buddy, because I'm doing a podcast. You're out putting up roofs, right?
Hey, guess what, dude? Like, what is that saying? Like, it's about like, if I was going to cut down a tree, I'd spend like 2 hours sharpening my axe or something like that. I think of podcasting is a great way to sharpen your axe, like your leadership. I mean, like, I know we're not talking about leadership at this moment, but you and I are both leaders. We both have to learn how to deal and persuade people. Guess what? I use memes internally to empathize with my people. You know what I mean? Like, I believe it's a persuasion is a worthwhile art to learn too, you know? And weirdly enough, I don't know, it's kind of a funny thing, but yeah, literally a meme in our Slack channel and stuff like that. Yeah, I was actually just
a good way to communicate.
Yeah, exactly. It's communication. Our video editor was just like right before I jumped on, was editing a piece of content. And I said something about like blow, like cocaine or something like that, like in it. And I was making fun of it or something, or making, and he's like, he's like, I didn't have time to like process like what he was trying to ask me if he should edit it out. And I'm like, and he said, should I edit this? He's like, what? I said, is it culturally insensitive? If it's culturally insensitive, then no, like, don't like, then edit it out. Cause I didn't mean to do that if I was but I think that that's a different thing. Like, there's a reason Howard Stern has as many listeners as he does, because he talks about crazy stuff. So I think a little bit of entertainment and humor and spiciness and content is really important, because most people talk that way. So we need to be able to include that in our content.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you that the Keepin in Rio, we do 2 separate versions, really. You know, I've got the one here where I talk to people and we have nice interviews. The other one's live, and we do crazy stuff on that one. Last week, I was in Orlando. I'm at a mansion that's all themed after video games and board games and stuff. And heck, live on our podcast, I went down the speed slide and did a back smacker into the swimming pool, right? Yeah. And it's like, nice. Does your roofing podcast have something like that? And the truth of the matter is, I don't even focus on the roofing aspect of it anymore. I just have a lot of friends in the industry and a lot of the people that are in it watch, but we don't really even talk about that. We talk about, you know, anything that's going on during the week, anything that's even slightly topical. And that seems to be getting us a lot of traction. The fact that I don't have the word
Okay, so
roofing or something like that on my
yeah,
title is huge.
I know. So how it's going to be a second before this comes out, and I know that a lot of people have already touched on this. But since we're not just talking about business and roofing. What is your take on the Will Smith slap? And do you think it was real? Rio? Do you think it actually happened? Or do you think it was fake? And then like how do you feel about Will Smith after you saw that?
Okay. A number one, I do not think it was real. I believe it was completely fake. It's an award show for actors. I mean, give me a break, right? If anybody's going to pull off the WWE move of the year, it's going to be a guy like that. Number two, if it was real, then I don't respect Will Smith as much as I did, because that was kind of a weak slap, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Chris Rock doesn't seem to be that tough of a
Yeah.
guy, and he took it like a man and he kept on talking. So
Yeah.
I don't think it
Yeah.
was. I think it was made up. I think that, created controversy, took away from whatever other thing we were starting to realize was going on, and we needed a quick distraction. So here's your
Hey.
distraction. And then for the next week and a half to 2 weeks, we talk about Will Smith and Chris Rock. I saw that Chris Rock's comedy tour tickets have definitely taken an upward turn.
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah, it went up like
so
70-80% or something.
Convince me that Will Smith and Chris Rock are not sitting somewhere drinking a margarita, giving high fives right now. And I will probably say, I think that's what happened. So I don't believe it was real. I think it was all made up. I think it was all to get attention back to the award show that nobody even knew about, because nobody cares anymore. And I also, we're on a podcast, so I'm going to say it. We're not the smartest group of people here in the world right now with what we've currently got going on. And we can be easily misled, or we can easily be tricked with a shiny object. Two guys that live in Hollywood that act in movies, that's all that I've been hearing about for a week. So it was brilliant marketing, if nothing else. And it gave you ample opportunities to make about 70 bazillion different variations of that. The homeowner getting slapped by the insurance company, I'm slapping down the deductible eaters and all that. So I think it provided great content. I think it was a distraction from whatever was happening. And I know that just a week prior, we were focused on world issues, and I haven't heard anything about those world issues since. So it's an easy distraction. That's my take.
No, I feel that totally. It was funny at we just had a Roofing Insights event, or I went to one here in Minneapolis, and it was, so the question was like, what's your name? Why are you here? What's your company? And then also, if who would you slap for the meme? And so it was really good. Like I took a lot of notes on that, because I'm like, I got to get all these enemies out here. Here's all the ones
these base cutouts and do every bit of photoshopping. But see, it created a ton of content, and that's the world we're in right now. Content creation, I think, is at its all-time high, and I think it's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And why not?
And if you
take
can't,
advantage of it.
Yeah, I will say, I'm just going to push the idea of trying to do more funny in your content. Like, I think for all these roofers, we could do more funny. We could try to do more entertaining. And like Chuck, you could do more stunt type stuff, or more activity, like fun stuff. I get that we're all business, and to be honest, we're all all of us gung-ho dudes. We're all 10X. Like, literally, the roofing industry is like, that's it, dude. That's why I freaking love the roofing industry. Like, business focus, but then like, if you can't have fun, and you can't and get your, you know what I'm saying? Like, more fun shit in your content, because that is what people are going on. People, just to be real. And I mean, I can't go, I agree that it's very possible that was staged, and maybe for nefarious reasons, whatever. I who knows? It is annoying. I felt like it was very weird, and kind of like, if not staged, damn, I feel bad for Will Smith, because it seems like he's had a little bit of mental
got some issues there that definitely don't need to be laughed at. If that comes to be the case, then I will publicly apologize.
No, you don't have to.
I'll publicly apologize to Will Smith.
But I think just trying to push ourselves to do, I say like try to this week to try to push yourself to do like 2% more like entertaining type content. I think roofers have finally got on board with the they ask, you answer idea of content marketing. We need to put out content. We need to put up blogs. We need to put up videos. But it's all educational. And if there could be more entertainment and more demonstration, even like demonstration is always good. Like I always talk about our roofer that we would shoot like bow and arrow at siding or like light shingles on fire, like with a flamethrower, like that type of stuff where you can do fun stuff that's kind of like a stunt. That can be a little bit more like a way to break up the monotony because your company is coming off boring. Our company is coming off boring. It's very easy to make a company boring. Boring is very easy on marketing. So I'm just pushing everybody to do more entertaining content. Our feeds will get more interesting. We're all competing with these annoying MFers in Hollywood that are faking stuff out here for views. Come on. Well, where's the fucking fake shit for roofing? Like, why don't we have a wrestling match, Chuck? That's all I'm saying.
I'm all for having a wrestling match. You tell me where and when, and I'll do it. I'll even wear Speedos. I don't care because I agree. I think fun content's where it's at. And I'm very lucky. I've got a association with K Socialized Media, who is a social media branding company that's in our organization. And, you know,
cool.
We get to do those goofy things. A week or so ago, we released one where one of my managers and I were Mario and Luigi, and we were sword fighting with lightsabers, you know, and I ended up getting killed and a bunch of coins come shooting out, and just has nothing at all to do with roofing, because the truth of the matter is roofing companies are expected to put pictures of roofs up, right? Does anybody really care about someone else's roof? I don't, you know, even if I do somebody else's roof, I don't really care that much because I'm never going to see that roof. It's not mine. But if I'm getting stabbed by Luigi or Mario and I'm you know, dressed up as Santa Claus and we're beating the crap out of a printer in a field like Office Space, people remember that. And I'll tell you how I know this to be fact. I just had lunch with a complete stranger who knew everything that we had been doing on social media. So never met the guy before in my life. Yeah. I've been following you. I saw your videos. I see what you're doing. And it's like, hey man, it's working.
And you don't always know. So I think that's like something to touch on here is like, they call it dark social, and it sounds more ominous than it is. It just means somebody has been following along, looking at your posts, admiring what you're doing even, but not liking and not commenting. They saw stuff, but they didn't comment for whatever reason. Maybe they're not, you know, I've heard people that say, I like, don't like anything on social media because I don't really like the vibe of like, Zuck knowing what I like, you know, like,
yeah, exactly.
So there's people out there and they're not all like that. They're just like, I don't like everything that I enjoy on Facebook, you know, like, so I do for the algorithm because I always like my friends' posts because I know the algorithm. I'm like, but just noting that there's people that I think people get confused sometimes. They put something up and it's 3 likes or 5 likes or something like that. And it's not just that though. You're reminding people that your company exists too. Like, do use it to get better at posting, but know that people they appreciate that you're trying and that there are people that are watching. And some people have become a customer of ours that told me they watched our videos, and I never saw any interaction from them whatsoever.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And I'll tell you, there's nothing better than walking somewhere, you know, like an industry event or something like that, and having people come up to you. I talked to a guy a little bit earlier today for another episode of the podcast, and he's in the Roofers in Recovery program. And we had never spoken before, but last, I guess, October, I was at RoofCon in Orlando. And this gentleman just walked up to me and he's like, hey, I needed to just come by and say hi. I've been following you. I see your stuff. I love what you guys are doing. And it's like, man, you know, I actually had a fan. That was kind of cool. Maybe at some point I'll get another one. But yeah, people see what you're doing. They appreciate it. Too. Absolutely. Heck, man, I've tried to recruit sales reps and branch managers off the podcast. I had 2 branch managers from SRS Distribution come on here to put a full court press on a guy that I was trying to hire for my company. So why not? If nobody else is willing to jump out here
Love that.
and put themselves out and do this, why not take advantage of that space? Because there's a lot of opportunity there.
And I mean, like, sometimes it's like you got to dig your well before you're thirsty. That's a book that I read. It's about networking, but I think we
Mhm.
should all be thinking about that in terms of hiring. Like, we should be thinking about our internal stuff, doing cool things, doing fun stuff, doing silly stuff sometimes even to promote the culture, so that when, like, you may not need to hire, maybe you already got all your salespeople for this season or whatever, but like be thinking ahead, like 6 months, 12 months. Like, I got to hey, videos take a little bit of time to record sometimes, like stuff takes time to percolate. You can always reuse these videos later. Like our roofers are doing cool culture stuff where they're like doing, bumper cars, or they're volunteering or different things like that. Just making sure that you're putting that out, and making people understand that your company is that kind of company. That's not just that you're a family a little bit too. You got like a culture internally. So I think that's the exact right stuff. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, that's our entire way of doing things. We branded the entire company on social media. We actually have a social media company inside the company because of that.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
that's what I learned when I joined on with our organization. We got Rio Blanco, and it was like, okay, you need to do something, but I'd been used to just, hey, here's my drone. Here's what this roof looked like before. Here's what it looks like after. Here's what this one looked like before. Here's what this one looked like after. And I didn't really understand that concept. And then I got around this group and I started looking at their social media, and it was like, okay, two people were late for the company meeting and they ended up dressing up as dinosaurs and dancing in the parking lot while people were throwing water balloons at them, and everybody was having a blast. They were having fun. And it was like, everybody just loved being a part of it. And I mean, that is so infectious. That's what I try to bring into our organization is just, hey, man, everything that we do outside of the office, everybody else is doing the same thing. You can't do a whole lot with roofing that someone else isn't already doing, right? I mean, there aren't that many variations. There's about 7 things that go on every roof, and you can't really do much to change that. You can use different products, but if people don't know what the products are, they don't care. They see a Pink Panther, they see a Scotch Guard logo or whatever. What they're buying is you, and you have to separate yourself from the pack somehow. And for me, I've just found that being goofy and not being too concerned about what people really think has been hugely beneficial. It's brought me people to the organization. It's brought our company a ton of recognition. People know Rio Blanco Roofing all over the United States. And I mean, we've got 3 offices in Texas. It's not like I'm a huge superpower just yet. We're going to get there, but that's what does it, just being different. They see you dressed up as a turkey on Thanksgiving and you're getting shot by a park ranger. You can't help but tune in and wonder what the hell's wrong with this guy, if nothing else. Right. So I think that's
Hey, how big is Rio Blanco? How many people do you guys have at the company?
Let's think about that. Just right about 20 on between my 3 locations.
Nice.
We're still growing,
Cool.
we just got into a new
long have you
office
been
here
doing
in
it?
San Antonio. What's that?
How long have you been doing it for?
We bought Rio Blanco. This company was out of business. We bought it in March of 2019 and rebranded it. My parent company over in Tyler, Texas, ASAP Roofing and Construction, gave me all the systems and processes. We put them all into place, and we've just kind of branded it exactly as they did. When they started the company, it was in basically a glorified tool shed, and within 3 years, they were doing 20 million a year. So I figure that's the blueprint I want to follow. And if it requires me going into a dunk tank or, flying an airplane or doing whatever you guys need me to do to get that attention, like Uncle G says, best known always beats best. And if you're the best anyway, what the hell does it matter? You might as well be the best known, right?
Yeah. No, it's funny. Like you and I are very, very similarly aligned on these principles. So I like it. It's kind of funny, man. The whole 10X like subculture is very like, I mean, I have read like all of the books. I've taken his sales course, like pretty bought in. Read 10X Rule probably like 5 times. Like, so it's just funny when you meet other people that are really into Cardone. It's funny how like you click a little bit together.
Well, yeah, I mean, because other people don't think that way. And when you see that someone does understand what the concepts are and they don't think you're crazy, it's like, hey, man, You don't think I'm crazy? I don't think you're crazy. We're both probably crazy as hell compared to everybody else, but
Yeah.
those are the guys getting the attention, right? And
I mean, it kind
I've
of
been
reminds me
a
like,
huge
yeah,
no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
sorry, go. I was just gonna say, like, I feel like maybe this is going too deep here for a second, but I feel like it comes out of like, I needed this. You know what I mean? I needed 10x, dude, because I had a little bit of a handicap. Like, I'm not like these sharp. I'm not trying to say this to you, but I'm saying I'm not like the smartest guy ever. Like but I can apply myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I I can work my butt off though. Like, so it's funny because sometimes people give people that work really hard like a bad rap. Like they're like, learn how to have work-life balance and stuff like that. And they push on you and they say this type of stuff, but then it's like, dude, I didn't do well when when I went normal amounts. I have to be the guy personally. I have to be the guy that does significantly more than other people, and I win because I do that. And you just get addicted to it because it's like, damn, dude. Like when I really push myself, I can go very far and very fast and like take my people on board. But it is very different than the way most people think. And I think sometimes they think that like I don't know. I guess I'm using this as my therapy session, but I think they think that like I'm not pushing on my people either. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I don't push. I'm not saying you have to work
It's not
60
something that
hours. I
you
don't do
can
that.
push on someone. Someone's got to
Yeah.
accept that, and someone's got to be willing to take the
Yeah.
sacrifice and put in that work. And
Yeah.
not everybody does. That's why it's
Yeah.
the elites.
But you know, if you're starting a business, or you're a salesperson, I feel like those two spots, it's like, think about it. It might be good for you because if you're starting a business, I always think it's funny when people start a business and then they're like, but I'm really going to work on my work-life balance. I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
you
good
don't
luck.
know what starting a business is, man. Like if those two don't go together, you can go do that and work for one of us. I mean, and that's good and that's beautiful. And like the fact that we're trying to make a place where people can work 40 hours a week and go home. But like, I just, yeah, I don't think if you're going to start a business, that's a smart way of thinking of it.
Yeah, I mean, I had excess energy to burn. That's the only reason why I decided to do it. It was, but the truth of the matter is, and I'll go back to a great example of the 10X, and it applies directly to sales. Okay. I was in residential roofing sales for several years. And I remember the first year that I really felt good about myself and where I was at and my ability. I started shooting for that $1 million, right? That's the residential holy grail. If you can get to the $1 million,
Yeah.
you're, in the top 1%, whatever that is. And I'm shooting for it, and my goal for the year is I'm hitting 1 million, right? And I broke it all down just like Uncle G does in his millionaire booklet. And I know how much I got to do per day, per hour. I'm going to weed out these. I'm not going to do this. And I get to the very last day of the year, and it took me literally signing, I think it was 5 deals on the last day of the year to hit the million. And I slid in, I was like $3,000 above it at the end of the full year, right? All the work I put in, it took the last day to get it. So I went on vacation and I had the Audible book of 10X, and it changed the way I looked at it, right? So January, I'm like, dude, I'm going to do 10 million this year, and I'm going to put in 10 times more effort than I did because I was shooting for the goal and I got to it, but I just got to it. And it was like, realistically, am I going to do 10 million after I just did one? Probably not. I mean, it can happen, but it's not probable, right? But I started shooting towards those goals, and the next thing I know, it's early June and we're hitting the million. And it's like, man, that
Damn.
mindset changed everything. And once you put that in your head and you realize, okay, what I thought I was doing, it got me there, but what I really need to do is way over here. It changes the way you look at everything. And that's, like you say, putting out 10 times more stuff than anybody, just putting in the work. I'm the same way. I don't like to sleep. I get up at 4 o'clock every morning, and I'm usually at the office by 6, and that's on weekends too. I just like what I do. It's not really work.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think just to like review the kind of one more piece of the core concept of that book and apply it here is like it cracks you open a little bit. If you're shooting for 10 million, like what are the activities that I'm doing? Like I think one of the things that's been big for me is like, instead of just thinking about the next prospect, I'm thinking about referral partners all the time, man. All the time I'm thinking about
Absolutely.
referral partners. And like, I believe if I was this roofing sales guy, I would be thinking about insurance agents, and I would be thinking about realtors, and that would be my main thing. I would be pushing on that all the time. I don't like to go for the one prospect, like I've been getting a lead a day on my personal Facebook, and that's beautiful. Like, just people sliding into my inbox, whereas like other marketers have to slide into everybody else's inbox. I'm grateful for that. But I don't, I'm not like super excited by one prospect anymore. Please slide in my inbox. But you know what I mean? I don't get super excited about that anymore, because I'm like, I want to talk to 10 at a time, like that's why I go on podcasts. That's why, like, like ultimately, like, just when you think about the 10 times bigger thing, you probably didn't hit 10 million that year, but you
I
said, what would
didn't.
I have to do? But what would I have to do to hit that? And that's the real question and the real beauty of this idea, because it cracks you open. And I didn't think about that, but if I tried, it just like helps you brainstorm better, because you come up with like better, interesting ideas that then do lead to. He basically says, if you try to double it, you're not going to hit it. But if you try to 10x it, I think you get closer to doubling it, like, or passing that,
Yeah,
so.
and that's exactly what happened. I doubled it. And the thing that stands out there, it's another old adage that I got from 10x was, sell to one that sells to many. And that's the subscribe, that's my theory. I'm the same way. Okay. I'd love to go do your roof, but I also know a guy over here that has a property management company that has several hundred of them. And if I can become friends with this one or two people over here, I've got that opportunity for multiple deals. And I've got an entire office that runs basically off of referrals only, and a lot of those referrals are people that I've never even met in my life, and I've done multiple roofs for them, and I've got people all over the United States. I've got people in other countries, and you would never have the opportunity if you're just door knocking, or if you're just out looking for, like you said, that one lead, or if you're sitting in the office waiting for leads. You're certainly never going to get that. But that's the mindset you have to have. And that's what we preach with my company too, is find that person or people that can open the door for, hundreds or thousands more opportunities.
Mm. And what could your social media do to attract those referral partners? So this is what and like, then you're posting on social media to attract referral partners, not just posting on social media to attract the one lead. And you'll see that if you do that, you also attract leads, but like, it's the big deal is when you start to get like, basically, and I know that it's different if I'm a roofer trying to get to homeowners and property managers, but there are influencers in your local market, like
Absolutely.
I think about influencers a lot because we're talking to roofers. So who are the influencers in the roofing market? But as a locality, your city has influencers and people that know everybody that you want to know. And like, how do you get around them and make that city love you? So
And
I
that's
think
the
that
key
there's
to the whole
ultimately a
thing.
lot. Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, we are exactly on the same page. It's awesome. And
Yeah.
I really like that. Heck, I don't know what else you want to talk about, Tim. We've had a pretty darn good conversation here. I love the
Yeah.
memes. What's your ultimate vision with the memes? Are you gonna like start your own little worldwide meme phenomenon and
Yeah.
become the leader of the free world, or what's the plan? It's just something you're gonna keep doing for
Yeah.
fun.
You know what I'll say? Can I do like a tie this into an exclusive offer for your audience? If you
Absolutely.
listen to this podcast, I will brand the top 10 memes that I've done that apply to homeowners for if you talk to us and you do and you end up working with us, I'll do that. I'll also, as a bonus to the Keeping It Rio podcast listeners, I will brand 10 of my top memes for your company so you can just have them to put out on social media. This is a small thing, but ultimately, I think my long-term vision, realistically, the vision for the sorry, I don't really have a vision for the meme thing, but the vision for the company is like beyond just helping business owners get more leads and like build marketing systems and own their marketing, it's also about, we want to promote the idea of the trades and culture. And like, I believe that it's an extremely honorable profession. It's anchored, it's well paying, and there's a lot of different jobs in it that a lot of people don't know about. They don't know that there's roofing salesperson job that you can make $200,000 a year. They don't know that there's a CSR representative in an HVAC company that can do very, very well and be comfortable. And like, there's a lot of opportunity that people don't know about. So like, I think beyond just getting home or contractors more leads and taking things off their plate, which we talk about all the time here, it's about promoting this idea of the trade. So we have a website called, what is it? Damn, I just forgot the whole thing. Tradesindemand.org. So tradesindemand.org is a project that we're working on right now. And one more call to action. Oops. Tradesindemand.org is about being a part of the change in culture to recognize the truth about the trades. And we're inviting you, the listener, if you want to do like a 2-minute like video for like a job that people don't know about in the trades, about it, like average salaries, what your day-to-day looks like, a little like documentary mini version, we'll put it on there and share with the audience. And we're going to be promoting that pretty heavily here. So tradesindemand.org, it's basically videos about jobs. And then it's got a listing of all the jobs in kind of top trades and like what their ranges are and like where to find the jobs and where to find training online. So that's something that we're doing as Hook Agency. And we're donating some money to just those kind of organizations this year. And I'm looking forward to, like once you get your bases covered, I feel like we're finally just profitable after 5 years as Hook Agency. Sorry to give too much information, but
hey, that's real.
Yeah. Once you get your bases covered though, you can move towards things that allow you to have more significance in your work. So one reason to do 10X and to crank and push and get better and get profitable is that you can expand. And I see a lot of the people that I know that really do the most for their community and give a ton are people that run profitable companies, interestingly enough. So something to aspire to. And I'm just finally able to have a little bit of extra time to do memes and stuff like this tradesindemand.org thing.
And that's a great thing that you're doing there, because believe me, I understand about the shortage right now for qualified people to come into this industry specifically. And most people have no idea what we have to offer. So that's really, really cool. And I'm going to take a look into that myself. And, Hook Agency, same thing. You guys are doing amazing things. You're making a great name for yourself out there. Let me ask you one final question before we call it a day, because I do see that there are some rivalries budding in the meme creation world, especially in roofing. I saw that Eric Richardson, my buddy Eric the Roofer, was kind of jumping in there and trying to go, meme for meme with you. It's a heavyweight battle right there. Who's going to win?
I gotta say, me, man. Eric has the authenticity there he's a real roofer. He's been around for a long time. I believe that he's good. He's a good rival here, but I believe in myself, and I've got a lot of memes. I've got a lot. For every meme I put out, I've got 5 on my camera roll that I didn't put out. I'm in it to win it. And I'm listening.
Jokes, right? That's tremendous. Yeah. And I know Eric is a formidable opponent, because I'll tell you this. I was at the PGA golf event yesterday here in San Antonio, and I was looking at the camera crew, and the only person I could think of was Eric Richardson, because there was a brief moment, a 4-month window in his life where he was a camera guy for the San Diego Chargers and the PGA. So very formidable opponent. He's got life experience.
I will say that, yeah. That guy,
Go back and watch the podcast I did with Eric. He's got some tremendous stories. He was kicked out of Drew Barrymore's house one time. So
really, all right, I like that. That's a good pick for a previous episode. Yeah, that guy's super nice though.
Definitely. Well, I love what you're doing. I love seeing it every day. I was sharing all the ones that you gave me the other day to my guys, and we're just cracking up about it. So keep up the good work, my friend. I appreciate your time on Keeping It Rio today. love to do this
Sir,
again
thank you.
sometime. And, if there's ever
Absolutely.
anything we can do on this end to be of service to you in any way, shape, or form, we're friends. We're podcast buddies now. So you're stuck with me.
All right. I
We'll
love
stay
it.
in contact and we'll run into each other at some point down the road and have a bite to eat or something.
Awesome. I'm totally down. Appreciate it, man.
All right, Tim, thank you. And thank you, crowd, for watching Keeping It Rio today. This has been an amazing episode, and it'll be dropping here in a few days. So thanks for everything. We'll see you guys.